Hi, I'm Charlie from Go Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about how to choose the right pair of boots for you. Getting the right pair of boots is really important for enjoying your outdoor activities. To get the right boot and the right fitting boot is critical for continued comfort. At Go Outdoors, we have hundreds of boots, and choosing the right one can be a little bit tricky. So this video will give you an introduction to the two main kinds of boots that most people will be looking for. Now, before we talk about the two kinds of boots, I want to just talk about the components of a boot. The first component is the outsole. This is what provides the traction and grip on the terrain that you're going to be going into. There's many different types of soles out there, and there's a number of different manufacturers, but Vibrum's a very common brand out there, and it's a good one to look out for. The next bit to look at is the midsole. The midsole is on the inside of the boot. You can't actually see the midsole. And this is the backbone of the boot. This is what provides the support and stability when you're out on the terrain, both this way and twisting side to side. The next component is the upper. And the upper is what holds your foot in place and protects it from rocks and knocks and all that. And it's usually a mixture of different materials. What's also in the upper is a waterproof liner, and that waterproof liner protects your foot from water, either from the rain or from puddles or dew, from getting under the inside. And what that also does is it moves moisture from the inside, created by your foot from sweat, and gets that to the outside so it's more comfortable. Another aspect is the final piece within a boot, which is the insole. And the insole adds additional comfort and provides antimicrobial properties, so it keeps the smell down. So now that we've looked at the components of the boot, I'm going to talk about how they differ between the two kinds of boots that we'll be looking at, which is rambling and hill walking boots. So this is the Scarpa Peak GTX. It's a great example of a rambling boot. So first, looking at the sole, rambling takes place in a lot of muddier and wet conditions. So the soles are designed to grip in those muddy conditions. Now these lugs, these little protrusions here, this is what gets the grip in those in the dirt and in the mud. They're designed in a way that they actually will let mud go as you walk. So it clears the channels, it clears the mud away from the lugs. So it's a great feature to have. Moving up, the midsole is still quite flexible, and that's good because when you're rambling, you're usually rambling on kind of either flat or undulating paths. And if you had a stiffer boot, it would be quite uncomfortable to walk in, almost like you're walking in ski boots. So there's some good stiffness this way, but there's a lot of strength torsionally. There's a lot of support torsionally, so if you're walking on a steep-sided hill, your foot is still going to be supported. And that's important to make sure that you stay comfortable no matter how long you're out walking. The upper, it's a mixture of natural materials and synthetic materials. We've got a nylon with a suede or a split leather. Great because it keeps the cost down, also keeps the weight down, so it's a great option. It's not as durable as some of its full grain leather counterparts, but it's just something to be aware of. It has a Gore-Tex lining, again, to keep the water out, so when you are moving quick and fast, you can keep comfortable on the inside of the boot. Right, so that's the rambling boot. Let's now take a look at the hill walking boot. So this is the Midsole Vacuum. It's a great and classic hill walking boot. Now let's first look at the sole. The outsole has deeper lugs, and this is designed to grip into looser and more difficult terrain. Hill walking boots are designed to go into the hills and mountains in Snowdonia, the lakes, Scotland, and farther abroad. Anywhere where there isn't any snow. And to have a great sole with great grip, you need to have a great braking system at the back. And this pronounced piece right here will help get some security when you're walking down a steep slope. Moving up, looking at that midsole, now trying to flex that boot, it's much stiffer. There's much more support in this boot, again, to match to that more difficult terrain you're going into. Side to side, it barely moves, which means that your foot is going to be much more comfortable when you're walking on that difficult terrain and stay supported for much longer. Now, when we look at the upper, the first thing to note is it has this full rubber rand, and this rand goes all the way around the boot, and that is designed to protect that leather upper from nicks and cuts from bumping them onto any rocks or other debris that you might encounter in the hills. That will help keep the boot lasting much longer. Now the material itself on the upper is leather, and that leather is going to be a little bit thicker than any leather that might be used on rambling boots, again to make sure that it lasts a long time. What you also might notice is that the ankle goes up much higher, following with a number of different supports with the lacing. And again, that ensures that if you're walking on a steep slope, your ankle gets supported to try and stop and prevent any kind of ankle injuries that might happen. So that's a great example of a hill walking boot. So whether you're looking at rambling or hill walking, go into one of our stores and talk to one of our knowledgeable colleagues to try and find the right boot for what you're going to be doing. Or alternatively, go onto our website and find what works best. I hope this video has been of help, and hopefully you'll enjoy the outdoors. Cheers.